of death when the crowds have responded by accusing him of committing aggressive. The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am James Comfort, and it is many thanks for joining us. Quickly, the news making the rounds for today. TESTIMONIES produces 51st class graduates, honors monarchs and others. Academics urge an end to debt crisis at universities in South Africa. Europe region faces 700,000 more deaths from COVID by March, says WHO. Dollar shortage, subsidy, deficit financing threatening Nigeria's growth, says World Bank. Dynamo Kiev versus Bayern Munich. Lewandowski scores as Bayern wins 2-1. He will also stay with us to bring you the news in full just right after this time out. Welcome back. And now the news in details. TESTIMONIES produces 51st class graduates, honors monarchs and others. Tai Solari University of Education Ijagun, Ogun State has produced 51st class graduates out of 3,885 graduates for its 12th convocation ceremony. The 16-year-old Specialized University of Education also says it would confer honorary doctorate awards on two paramount rulers in the state, the Olu of Ilaro and paramount ruler of Yewa land, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, and the Akari Bibo, the paramount ruler of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Ajayi, and the chief executive officer, INT'L Communication PLC, Segun Ogunsanya. The acting vice-chancellor, Professor Oluwole Banjo, disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the activities of this year's convocation ceremony. The acting vice-chancellor says the ceremony had commenced from Sunday with a church service, while the grand finale will take place at the main campus on Sunday with the state governor Dapo Abiodun in attendance as the visitor of the school. While breaking down the grades, Banjo says 1,409 full-time students bagged second-class upper, 2,159 bagged second-class lower, 266 students bagged third class, while one student bagged pass for their first degree. Banjo, who was flanked by other members of the university management, added that the university produced 2,001 part-time graduates, among whom 155 bagged second-class upper, 660 students bagged second-class lower, 183 students bagged third class, and 3 students bagged pass for their first degree. He added that 483 postgraduate students would also be conferred with higher degrees. He says they have produced 51st class out of 3,885 graduates. They have 1,409 second-class upper, 2,159 second-class lower, 266 third class, and 1 pass. Speaking on the situation of the university, the acting VC said all the degrees conferred by TESTIMONIES have full accreditation by the National University Commission. And moving forward, Banjo says with COVID-19 climate change, Nigeria at crossroads. Vice President Yemi Banjo says the world and Nigeria are presently at crossroads at the launch of the International Center for Yoruba Arts and Culture at the University of Ibadan. The Vice President, in his address at the event, says COVID-19 and climate change were already disrupting life, but said lessons to cope with these could be learned from the culture of the people. He says culture is not just about the past, and it is neither static nor immutable. It is constantly creating and recreating. Consequently, progress is not merely determined by fidelity to tradition, but by the capacity for invention and reinvention. And this point is more relevant now than ever before as the world itself and the nation stands at crossroads. The future of mankind is at an inflection point with COVID-19 and climate change already disrupting life as they know it, while the fourth industrial revolution requires them to adapt to technological innovation changing at lightning speed. Osibanjo says the Yoruba World Center would serve not just as a place of memory, but as a place that inspires and fires the collective imagination as well as ideas and thoughts of the people. He urged those present at the event to join the movement agitating for the return of the artifacts looted from Yoruba land by the colonial masters. And now bringing you news stories coming from around Africa, academics urge an end to the debt crisis at universities in South Africa. The Minister of Higher Education, Blade Nzimande, revealed that universities are owed more than $700 million in fees due between 2010 and 2020, with historically disadvantaged institutions bearing the brunt of the cost. Universal South Africa CEO, Professor Ahmed Bauer, is urging the need for a solution. According to the minister, more than 100,000 degrees or certificates were withheld because of lack of payment over the period. 2 years ago, government released $160 million towards student debt. However, the flaw to this money is that it is directed to NSFAS students only. Now, they have the missing middle students who are not accommodated in clearing their student debt. Number two, this money applies to students who were registered that time. It means that those students at home who have graduated but can't get their degrees cannot work. So they are saying that they should intervene more into the issue of historical debt of students, says Lonimfo Zumalo, chair of South Africa Union of Students Financial Aid. South Africa's education expert says it is quite clear that a new approach to tertiary funding needs to be put forward. On the other hand, students are calling for free education in South Africa. Still bringing you news stories from around Africa, Niger's Great Green Wall tentatively comes to life. Once a desolate landscape, the Semiri Plateau in Niger is now a small paradise for fauna and flora. Goats crunch acacia seeds, squirrel and partridge print dot the ground. Praying mantises hang from trees and swarms of grasshoppers devour the verdant foliage. A small forest has miraculously been reborn, marveled Semiri Mayor Moussa Adamo. The transformation is part of the African Union's Great Green Wall project, which aims to restore 100 million hectares of dry land by 2030 along an 8,000-kilometer strip stretching from Senegal in the west to Djibouti in the east. Arable land is prized in landlocked Niger, where desert covers 3/4 of the territory and 80% of the population lives on subsistence farming. The World Bank predicts its population will rise from 23 million in 2019 to 30 million in 2030 and 70 million in 2050, underlining the vital importance of the Green Wall's success. Niger's contribution is mainly made up of white gum and Bauhinia reficensis trees, two drought-resistant species that can grow 12 meters, armed with pickaxes and spades. Villagers built earthen embankments that hold rainwater around the saplings longer to ensure that they grow even during droughts. Mayor Adamo says that the game animals and even giraffes have been leaving their remote habitat south of the capital Niamey to savour the tender acacia leaves since the Semiri Plateau reforestation program started in 2013. Right now, we'll be taking a break, and when we return, we shall be bringing you a lineup of more interesting news stories. Do well to stay with us.
business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
Welcome back. Still on Newsdesk, Europe region faces 700,000 more deaths from COVID by March, says World Health Organization. A further 700,000 people could die of COVID by March in Europe and parts of Asia, the World Health Organization has warned. The death toll already exceeds 1.5 million in the 53 countries of what the WHO terms as its Europe region. The WHO warned of high or extreme stress and intensive care units in 49 of the nations by March 2022. Europe is facing a surge in cases, prompting Austria to return to lockdown and others to consider fresh measures. A number of countries, including France, Germany, and Greece, could also soon make booster jabs a requirement for their citizens to be considered fully vaccinated. But several countries have seen fierce protests against new measures. The Netherlands saw several nights of rioting over a partial lockdown. In its assessment, the WHO warned COVID was the top cause of death in its Europe region. Confirmed COVID-related deaths recently doubled to almost 4,200 a day, it added. In Russia alone, the daily death toll has been recently topping 1,200. A high number of unvaccinated people and the prevalence of the Delta variant in some countries were key factors behind high transmission rates in the Europe region, the World Health Organization says. The World Health Organization Europe Director, Dr. Hans Kluge, urged those who were still unvaccinated to get the jab. Bringing you more updates and from New Zealand to reopen to vaccinated visitors. New Zealand has unveiled its plans to reopen borders and will allow foreigners to enter next year. Fully vaccinated visitors can enter from 30th April and will have to self-isolate for 7 days upon arrival. More New Zealanders will be allowed to travel home from the early next year as well under similar rules. The move eases strict curbs that have locked out many citizens and tourists since borders were slammed shut at the start of the COVID pandemic. COVID-19 Response Minister Chris Hipkins outlined the staged reopening plans, calling it the safest approach to ensure risk is carefully managed. New Zealanders who are in all other countries will be allowed to enter from 13 February. Foreign travelers will be the last group to be granted entry into the country from 30th April. All travelers must be fully vaccinated and will have to self-isolate for 7 days and will be tested for COVID upon arrival. Currently, only citizens and permanent residents of New Zealand are allowed to enter the country, and they must stay for 7 days in government-managed quarantine hotels. As these have limited spaces, the rules have effectively kept out many New Zealanders wishing to return. New Zealand was one of the first countries in the world to shut its borders early in the pandemic as part of a highly praised tough approach to COVID that managed to keep deaths to a minimum. Besides the travel curbs, it quashed earlier outbreaks with rapid and strict lockdowns. And now moving to news stories from the world of business, dollar shortage, subsidy, deficit financing threatening Nigeria's growth, says World Bank. The World Bank says that economic growth in Nigeria is being threatened by certain macroeconomic challenges, including dollar shortage, petrol subsidy, and fiscal deficit financing by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The bank disclosed this in its Nigeria Development Report recently released. The report identified measures taken by the government to tackle the pandemic-induced economic challenges. In 2020, the Nigerian government began to address long-standing macroeconomic challenges by harmonizing the two main exchange rates, adjusting electricity tariffs to more cost-reflective levels, cutting non-essential spending, redirecting budgetary resources towards COVID-19 response at both the federal and state levels, strengthening debt management, and increasing the transparency of oil and gas operations. It's noted that certain macroeconomic challenges had emerged that were undermining efforts made towards economic rebound. The World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Subham Chowdhury, says slow economic reform momentum was impeding the country from attaining its growth potential. He says even though Nigeria's economy exceeded a pandemic-induced recession, several challenges persist, including double-digit inflation, declining incomes, and rising insecurity. And moving forward, Osun produces first gold bar, raises team on illegal mining. The Osun state government announced the production of its first gold, saying it had adopted strategic measures to effectively handle volatile mining operations in the state. Governor Adeboyega Oyetola made the disclosure in Osogbo, the Osun state capital, at an event to mark the day dedicated to the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development at the ongoing Southwest Local Government Agriculture and Mineral Resources Trade Fair. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Benedict Alabi, explained that the strategies adopted included setting up a committee to handle mining issues and regulating mining activities by registering miners to guide against quackery and illegal mining. Oyetola added that holding meetings with the mining communities and the artisanal miners to sensitize them on relevant issues, including security and conducive environment, was vital to the growth of the sector. He added that recently Osun produced the first gold through the Segiola project. The above-mentioned comprehensive and strategic mechanisms will ensure seamless and productive mining activities. In his remarks, Minister for Mines of Steel Development, Mr. Olamileko Adigbite, harped on the need to add value to the country's mineral resources. Right now, we're taking another break, and when we return, we shall be bringing you news stories from the world of sports. We'll be right back.
Hello, have you been searching for an appropriate platform to advertise and promote your product and services? Are you a minister of the gospel and you want your message to spread across the globe? Stop this search. We've got the coverage to give your voice and ministry the amplification you require. To get a rewarding and cost-effective solution to that business idea of yours, Celebration TV is here to take your dream to the climax. We provide the following services: voiceover production, documentary packages, video production of your event, video editing, script writing, affordable live broadcast of your events, and more. For more information, please contact us on +234 703 341 3637 or +234 816 234 8181. You can also reach us via our social media platform: Facebook Celebration TV, Instagram My Celebration TV, Twitter us at My Celebration TV, YouTube Celebration TV. And you can send us a mail on celebrationtelevision@gmail.com.
Welcome back. And now is news from the world of sports. Lewandowski scores as Bayern win 2-1 against Dynamo Kiev. Robert Lewandowski scored a magnificent overhead kick in the snow as Bayern Munich won 2-1 at Dynamo Kiev in the Champions League, even with 5 of their players in quarantine. Lewandowski put Bayern ahead with a superbly timed bicycle kick to score for a 9th consecutive Champions League appearance. With Bayern already through to the last 16 as Group E winners, Kingsley Coman doubled the visitors' leads before Dennis Gamache scored the host's first goal in the competition this season. Heavy snowfall and sub-zero temperatures in Kiev could not prevent Lewandowski scoring one of the best goals of his career. In the 14th minute, the ball shot skywards after hitting the boot of Ukraine defender Ilya Zabarny, and Lewandowski reacted quickest with an unstoppable acrobatic effort. The Poland striker, who is among the favorites to win the Ballon d'Or award next Monday, scored his 82nd Champions League goal from 101 appearances. Coman doubled Bayern's first half lead just before the break with a crisp shot from a tight angle. Kiev applied pressure at the 2-0 down in the second half and were rewarded when they attacked down the left before Ganesh got in behind the defense to fire a consolation goal with 20 minutes left. In another sports news, and finally on Newsdesk, Nigeria avoid FIBA ban to hold elections January 30th. The International Basketball Federation has given the Nigeria Basketball Federation and the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development till January 30, 2022 to conduct elections into the executive board of the federation or risk being sanctioned. FIBA had in a letter dated November 10 to Musa Amadou Kida and signed by its president Haman Niang and Secretary General Andres Zakius, warned the sports ministry against interference in basketball in the country. The letter also stated that elections into the board of the federation be conducted on or before November 30th, or the nation would find itself facing sanctions. The Reconciliation Committee will conclude its assignment in December. The Amadou Kida-led board and the ministry have written to FIBA to inform them of what is happening, and FIBA has replied with the new date. FIBA has written to the sports ministry. They copied the Nigeria Olympic Committee and Amadou Kida on this new directive. The ministry, in the place of the caretaker committee led by Amadou Kida, set up a task force to run the affairs of the MBBF and the Tigers FIBA World Cup qualifiers. And that's the size of the news for today from Newsdesk on Celebration TV. But in case you missed out, here's a recap of the news making the rounds for today. TASUD produces 50 first-class graduates, honors monarchs and others. Academics urge an end to the debt crisis at universities in South Africa. Europe region faces 700,000 more deaths from COVID by March, says WHO. Dollar shortage, subsidy, deficit financing threatening Nigeria's growth, says World Bank. Dynamo Kiev versus Bayern Munich, Lewandowski scores as Bayern wins 2-1. And now to the photo of the day. Getting the right knowledge today should be in the list of your goals because knowledge makes you a high flyer. Do also reach out to us with your feedback on your thoughts on the photo of the day, and you can do this by reaching back to us via our social media platforms. On Facebook, Celebration TV, on Instagram, My Celebration TV, on Twitter, My Celebration TV, and on YouTube, Celebration TV. Now remember that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed has bagged his ways to success. So be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So be a part of nation building today. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for watching.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by